So President Biden says he's a Zionist.
You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist, and I'm a Zionist.
But is he really a Zionist? Let's unpack this. The revelations that we've been hearing from what went down between Biden and Bibi before the Rafah invasion are horrific. But this isn't entirely shocking based on Biden's track record. Here's what happened. President Biden and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken threatened Israel at its most vulnerable moment. Reports have now revealed that Biden warned Prime Minister Netanyahu not to enter Rafah. Did he also study the maps? He claimed, without evidence, that 20,000 people would be killed. Where did he get that number? It turns out that this number was completely false, but it gets worse. Biden didn't just pressure Bibi. He outright threatened to cut off weapons to Israel that they desperately needed to defend themselves, and he actually did stop sending some of the weapons that they needed. Just think about this. America's closest ally in the Middle East is fighting for its survival, and Biden is using military aid as leverage to dictate how Israel fights its war on terror. Now, there were significant consequences to this. This pressure from Biden delayed Israel's entry into Rafah, where Sinwar, the architect of the October 7th massacre, was hiding. It also delayed the chance to rescue hostages, including 7 Americans. 7 Americans held captive there. And Biden says, don't go in. Every minute of delay, because of this pressure, cost lives and also allowed the terrorists to regroup. In response to these threats, Netanyahu told Biden in no uncertain terms that Israel would defend itself, even if it meant fighting with their bare hands and nails. This is not the first time that Joe Biden has tried to bully an Israeli prime minister. Back in the early 1980s, when Biden was a senator, he threatened Prime Minister Menachem Begin over Israel's plans for Judea and Samaria, even suggesting that the U.S. might cut off aid. And do you know how Begin responded? He said, I am not a Jew with trembling knees. I am a proud Jew with 3,700 years of civilized history. No one came to our aid when we were dying in the gas chambers and ovens. No one came to our aid when we were striving to create our country. We paid for it. We fought for it. We died for it. We will stand by our principles. We will defend them. And when necessary, we will die for them again, with or without your aid. Those words ring just as true today. Israel's survival is not up for negotiation, not under Begin and not under Bibi, not then, not now, and not ever. Biden loves to claim that his support for Israel is ironclad, but time and time again, we see otherwise. Just this week, his administration approved hundreds of millions of dollars in aid to Gaza, money that will surely line Hamas's pockets. Just yesterday, 100 aid trucks were violently looted in Gaza by Hamas. And let's not forget his latest threats to sanction Israel for building homes in Judea and Samaria, our biblical homeland. Why does Biden think that he has the right to tell Jews in Israel where they can and cannot live? As Ambassador Friedman said, that is like Israel telling American builders that they can't build homes in California. It is absolutely preposterous. Biden calls himself a Zionist, but a real Zionist wouldn't tie Israel's hands while threatening to cut off their weapons. A real Zionist wouldn't stand by as 7 Americans remain hostage in Gaza. Biden's words mean nothing when his actions consistently undermine Israel's safety and sovereignty. Now, I know it's easy to forget, but guys, Joe Biden is still the president of the United States of America, and he will be for 2 more months. Every decision he makes now has life or death consequences for Israel and for the Americans. His betrayal of Israel is not just political, it is personal. We heard every empty statement of support, followed by every threat. Should we expect more parting gifts to our enemies like his former boss Barack Obama gave on his last day in office when he released $221 million to the Palestinian Authority? We are watching, and we will not forget this.